Entitled people. Someone left kids on our porch.
It happened just a few hours ago. My girlfriend and I don't have kids, as my cousin likes to say we have too much free time. She, on the other hand, has 4 young children. Not long ago, she joked that she might drop off all 4 kids at our place so we could babysit while she goes on a cruise with her new boyfriend. We laughed it off. It sounded way too absurd to be serious, and we forgot about it. Today, both of us had the day off, but nice long weekend. Around 7 a.m., we heard a knock on the door. Weird. The mail carrier doesn't come that early, and we weren't expecting anyone. I went downstairs to check, and there they were. My cousin's 4 kids, standing on the porch. It was cold outside, and their mom was nowhere in sight. I opened the door and let them in. They were freezing, and none of them were even wearing jackets. I asked where their mom was, and they said, "She told us you'd watch us while she's on her cruise, so we took the bus and came here." I couldn't believe my eyes or ears. I thought, what the actual hell? I immediately tried calling my cousin. Her phone was off. Tried her new boyfriend. Straight to voicemail. Then I asked the kids again, "Tell me exactly what your mom said." They answered word for word. She said you don't have any real responsibilities and have plenty of free time, and that you agreed to watch us while she's out of town. What the hell am I supposed to do now? I called my aunt, and she told me the same thing my cousin told her, that I agreed to take the kids. She didn't even bother to bring them herself. She just sent them on a bus on a freezing winter morning. I think I need to call Child Protective Services. Update. The police just showed up at my house, along with child services. The thing is, I didn't even call them. I'll update again soon. Update 2. Here's what happened a few hours after my cousin's kids showed up at our place. We still didn't know what to do. We fed them, turned on the heater, and made them comfortable. Still no word from their mother or her boyfriend. Every time we tried calling, it went straight to voicemail. Around 10:30 a.m., I got a call from an unknown number. It was the police. They asked if there were 4 children in my house. I said yes and explained the situation. Turns out, the call came from the bus driver who had brought the kids. On the way, the children told him they were going to visit relatives and even gave our address. The driver thought it was strange. 4 little kids traveling alone with no bags, no jackets, in the cold. So after dropping them off, he called the police to make sure everything was okay. A little while later, the police and Child Protective Services arrived. The officers were great, very professional and kind, but you could tell they were taking the situation seriously. I told them everything. I showed the text messages where my cousin joked about leaving her kids with us. Of course, there was no actual agreement or confirmation. I explained that we hadn't been warned at all and that the kids just showed up saying we'd already agreed to watch them. The kids told the officers that their mom had said we had lots of free time and would be happy to take care of them. About an hour and a half later, the police told us they'd found her on a cruise ship. The ship was docked at the Circleway port in a city not too far from us, scheduled to depart at 3:30 p.m. She was already on board, ready to sail off with her new boyfriend. They took her off the ship and told her she needed to return immediately, no arguments. When she arrived at our place, she looked completely unbothered, dressed head to toe in her cruise outfit, sunglasses on her head, and a lanyard badge around her neck. She didn't even glance at her kids, just walked in and said, "Did you seriously get the police involved?" I told her she'd left 4 children at our house, without warning, without any belongings, and with no way to contact her. She started yelling that I had humiliated her and ruined her vacation. And then my aunt, her mother, called and yelled at me too, saying I'd gone too far. Turns out, she had paid for that cruise as a gift for her daughter. And now, apparently, I had wasted her money. No one seemed to care about the kids. Meanwhile, Child Protective Services took my statement and told my cousin that this was a serious case of child neglect and that an investigation would be opened. She couldn't have cared less. She grabbed the kids without saying thank you or sorry, just left, like I was the one to blame for everything. Later, I tried calling both her and my aunt to explain that I hadn't called the police or child services myself, but they didn't believe me. Both of them blocked my number. Update number 2. I didn't think I'd be writing another update, but the situation keeps developing. A couple of days after my cousin was pulled off the cruise ship and forced to take her kids back, I got another call from child services. They asked me a few follow-up questions. During the conversation, they mentioned that they had contacted the children's biological father and told him what had happened. I didn't even know he was still around. Last I heard, he had moved somewhere rural in New South Wales, near a town called Uga, I think. Turns out, he'd been paying child support this whole time and trying to stay in touch with the family. But my cousin made it nearly impossible. She ignored his calls, blocked his number, canceled visits, all that stuff. When he found out she had put the kids on a bus alone in the middle of winter and just dumped them on our doorstep, he was furious. That same night, he got in his car and drove straight to Sydney. The next morning, he showed up at our house. He turned out to be a really nice guy, clearly shocked, but calm and collected. He said he just wanted to hear the whole story from someone who was actually there. We sat down and talked. He asked how the kids were doing, what they said, what exactly had happened. It was obvious that he truly cared about them. Then he told me directly that he's going to file for full custody. He told me that he'd been collecting evidence for years, documenting every canceled visit, every ridiculous excuse, every odd change in the kids' behavior after spending time with their mother. And now, this was the final straw. Leaving the kids alone without a single message or warning, that was it for him. He said he wouldn't let them grow up in an environment where that kind of behavior was considered normal. I told him I completely supported him. Those kids need stability. He thanked us for not turning them away and for taking care of them when no one else did. Then he left, saying he was going straight to see his lawyer. And then something happened that I never expected and still can't believe. Last night, our car was vandalized. All 4 tires were punctured. Nothing else was touched, just the tires. We notified this morning as my girlfriend was getting ready to leave. No note, no witnesses. We don't have security cameras, but we asked the neighbors to check theirs. I can't say for sure who did it, but given the timing, I have a few suspicions, especially after one of our relatives called yesterday and accused us of turning the whole family against my cousin. We don't have proof yet, but we reported the incident to the police, just in case. Honestly, we're exhausted. We never wanted any of this. We were just trying to do the right thing when 4 freezing kids showed up on our doorstep. Now the whole family believes my cousin's version of events, and I'm seriously thinking about posting the entire story on Facebook with all the facts to show what really happened. Because at this point, it's getting serious. Update number 3. The situation escalated again and fast. Yesterday around 7:30 p.m., someone knocked on our door. My girlfriend opened it and just froze. Standing there was my cousin's oldest son, 11 years old, alone in the dark, with a small school backpack, no jacket, no phone. He said only one thing: "Mom told me to stay here for a while." We were stunned. We asked where the other kids were. He said, "They're with her boyfriend. I didn't want to stay there anymore." We asked why his mother let him leave. He replied, "She said if I don't like it there, I can go, so I went." We immediately brought him inside, gave him a hot meal, and called the police. They arrived quickly, along with Child Protective Services. Given the previous cruise incident, this time, they took everything very seriously. A boy told them some horrible things, that his mother had been yelling all day, locked herself in her room, and nobody was watching the kids. He said he remembered how calm it felt at our house and just wanted to come back. Soon after, the police and CPS went to her home. Later, we were informed that the other children had been removed, and my cousin was taken in for questioning. There's now an official investigation for child neglect and abandonment. I don't know if it was guilt, CPS pressure, or just total burnout. But according to the officers, she'd been losing control ever since the cruise incident. Then this morning, my aunt, my cousin's mother, showed up at our house. She was furious. She yelled that I had destroyed the family, turned the kids against their mom, and stolen her daughter's children. She even shouted. For the first time in years, she was happy, finally going on that cruise. And you ruined everything because you hate children. We just shut the door and reported the incident to the authorities. The police told us to document everything from now on and said that if it happens again, we can file for a restraining order. Later the day, I got a call from the biological father's lawyer. He's officially filing for full custody and asked if I'd be willing to provide a character reference and written statement describing what happened, what the kids said, and what condition they were in when they came to us. I agreed immediately. I never wanted to be part of this drama, but if it helps the kids find a safe home, I'm in. And the part that hit us the hardest, before CPS took the boy, he hugged my girlfriend and said, "You're the only ones who made me feel normal." That moment broke me. We're trying to stay emotionally detached now, but we'll keep cooperating as needed. This whole ordeal taught us one thing. Doing the right thing isn't easy, but we don't regret opening that door for even a second. Still watching this episode? Then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. My mother-in-law showed up unannounced and demanded that I get rid of my cat. I'm 38 years old, a construction engineer, living with my husband and our cat. This Friday, my mother-in-law suddenly appeared at our doorstep with a suitcase, saying she was here for a vacation. She constantly visits without warning or invitation. She's always disliked that we have a cat, but this time things went way too far. She started comparing the cat to termites and mold, and then said, "If you allow an animal to destroy your home, how can anyone trust you to build safe structures?" I've spent years building my career, and she managed to reduce it all to an insult, just because of my pet. It's either me or the cat. If this family matters to you, prove it. Get rid of her. I told her the cat stays, that this is my home and she doesn't get to walk in and decide who lives here. She started yelling that I always have to be in control, then locked herself in the guest room. This morning, she left without saying a word. My husband's caught in the middle, and I'm still fuming. It's not just about her dislike of the cat. She went after everything that matters to me. My career, my sense of stability, my idea of family. How can someone just show up in your home and demand that you throw out your pet? Someone tried to steal our campsite. We've got a great group of friends, and every year for Labor Day, we go camping together. 7 adults, 4 kids, and 3 cars. We pay extra for the third car, but we still stay within the limits for people and vehicles. Bookings open 11 months in advance, and we always reserve the same big site ahead of time. It's hands down the best spot in the whole campground. Pull-through access for the trailer, secluded, huge, a bit off the main road, with a beautiful view of the forest. Perfect location. Some of the other sites nearby are much smaller and cramped. I arrived first, around 9 p.m. on Friday. Every site was already taken, except one. But the free one wasn't ours. It was the small neighboring spot. And it was obvious that a 10-meter trailer would never fit there. We're somewhere around the Medlahome area, and the trailer on our spot looked like it was from the 1980s. So, feeling a bit nervous, I walk up and knock on the door. I switch to my best friendly Oklahoma accent, full-on polite Southern lady mode. "Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Here's my booking confirmation. I think you might have taken our site." "Oh no, we booked this one," she says. "Ma'am, would you mind if I take a look at your confirmation? If there's been a mix-up, we'll figure it out." She closes the door. I wait 10 minutes. Silence. I call the ranger. He says he'll be there in half an hour. I wait another 10 minutes and knock again. "So, did you find your email?" "Where do we check again? On the website?" "No, ma'am. It should be in your email inbox." "And what do you want from us? Our kids are asleep." "Ma'am, mine are asleep in the car too. I completely understand. But we can't fit on that tiny site. If we can't settle here, we literally have nowhere to spend the night." They never did find the email. Finally, my friend arrived with the trailer. And almost at the same time, the ranger showed up. And miracle of miracles, the email suddenly appeared. Turns out, they were indeed supposed to be on that tiny little site. Then they started pleading with the ranger. We're leaving tomorrow morning anyway. Can't we just stay here for one night? It's such a hassle to back the trailer in just for one night. Well, we decided to be reasonable. Okay, we said, we'll stay somewhere else for the night if you free up the site by 7 a.m. so we can move in. What about 11? That's checkout time. No, this is our site. We're already compromising. We've got a busy day tomorrow and need to set up by 8. That's too early. We've got kids. Fine, but please try to leave by then. The ranger, clearly aware of what kind of circus would unfold at 7 a.m., said flatly, "No. Move right now." But our kids are sleeping. The ranger pointed at me and said, "So are hers. Move." After some grumbling and complaining, they finally moved their trailer. It took them a good 45 minutes to wedge it into that microscopic site. And now it's Sunday. Their loud shrieking kids and unleashed dogs are still roaming around the neighboring spot. Luckily, the sites here are spaced out, and the trees help muffle the noise. Yesterday morning, one of the kids yelled, "Why aren't we at that pretty spot anymore?" And the woman, maybe the mom, maybe the grandma, I wasn't really looking because I was reading my book, shouted back, "Because those people stole our spot." Well, folks, that's what happens. You should have booked it ahead of time. Usually, we bring way more food than we can eat and share with our neighbors, but not this time. No steaks for you. Update: Monday, checkout day, time 11 a.m. When we were leaving, our neighbors were still there, not even packed up. So as expected, their "we're leaving tomorrow" was complete nonsense. We saw 3 adults, a man, an older woman, and a woman in her 40s, plus a few little kids. The older lady was definitely the loudest and most dramatic, though she limited herself to passive-aggressive remarks. The younger one was much calmer. And get this, last night the younger woman actually came over and apologized for the older one's behavior. We told her it was a bad idea, that she wouldn't listen, she said. She just wanted a bigger spot. She does this kind of thing all the time. Her apology felt very sincere. So in the end, everything turned out fine. We lost about an hour at the start of the trip, but we had an amazing weekend with friends. And hey, now we've got a great story to tell, and nobody slashed our tires. All in all, an awesome camping weekend. Happy camping, everyone. My neighbors are demanding that I keep my dogs inside the house. They moved in about a year ago. We both have front yards. Theirs is a bit bigger than mine. Both yards are fenced, and whenever the weather's nice, I like to work on my porch while my dogs just lie nearby, nap or play quietly without bothering anyone. We've been living like this for 4 years. About 6 months ago, the neighbors got a cat and decided to let it roam freely between the yards. Since then, that cat has constantly been climbing into my flower pots. I've spent a lot of time and effort setting up my yard, both for myself and for my dogs. All my plants are safe for them, and many are even edible. Usually, my dogs just watch the cat, or walk closer but never chase it. I've trained them not to. Whenever the cat comes into our yard, it immediately bolts back home. I've never chased the cat away or let my dogs out to scare or harm it. But this morning, after coming back from our walk, I found a note from my neighbors taped to my gate. In it, they demanded that I not let my dogs outside because their cat doesn't like them, even though their cat apparently likes to hang out in my yard. I went over and told them clearly that I'm not going to comply with their ridiculous demand. My dogs are on their own property. They don't bother anyone and they don't chase their cat. You know what they said? They told me that since I already walk my dogs twice a day, take them to training, and go hiking with them on weekends, they don't need to be in the yard at all. But their cat mostly lives outdoors. And according to them, it's cruel to deny him the chance to hang out in my yard, especially since he likes to lie in my plants. I told them to focus on their own yard and plant things their cat would like. In response, they slammed the door and threatened to call animal control if their cat ever ran back from my yard to theirs again. Now I'm stuck wondering what to do next, and I can't figure out where they get this gallon-sized brew of gall they're clearly chugging, or who's cooking it for them. Update: after reading all the advice, I decided to try a few of the suggestions. First, I repositioned one camera and ordered another, so the whole front yard will be covered. Second, I'll plant more lavender, rosemary, and geraniums, and keep looking for other suitable plants. And, as many suggested, I'll secretly sprinkle some catnip seeds on their lawn and rope other neighbors into it. Third, today I'll buy oranges and use the peels as a deterrent. On my next walk, I'll collect more pine cones to add to the arsenal. I've started researching safe uses of essential oils and already tried the fork trick some people recommended. Fourth, I checked local rules. While there's no specific leash law for cats, it's explicitly stated that animals must remain on their owner's property. So I'm going to call animal control to file a complaint and ask them to issue the neighbors a warning and politely remind them of the law. So now my fur babies and I can calmly enjoy our yard. I know I'm fully prepared for Mr. Fluffy's next invasion. Thanks so much for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other videos. Hugs. See you tomorrow.